everybody. Welcome to How I See It, starring Kevin Levrone, IFBB Hall of Fame pro bodybuilder, brought to you by his company, Levrone Supplements. First question is, where in the world are you, Kevin?
Well, Ron, we just started tour.
Another
2019. Yeah, we're kicking her off in Shanghai, China. So that's where I'm at.
Wow.
Just flew in last night.
Whew.
Yeah.
So China, where else is this tour going?
I knew you were going to ask me that question.
Of course, I have to.
We're going to finish it off. We're on the road for about 32 days. We're going to finish it off in Fiebo, Germany. That's going to be the last stop, but I'm going to be going through, let's see, England.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into Czech Republic. Going to be going through Greece and a few more other countries out there.
Goodness gracious.
Singapore. Yeah.
It was great running into you at the expo, Kevin, and in the restaurant. And I wish I'd taken your picture in the restaurant because, you know, in the expo you had this big Exile Fitness hoodie on, couldn't see the physique.
Yeah.
In the restaurant, I'm going to call you out. You said you haven't trained in 9 months, Kevin?
I haven't worked out in 9 months. I haven't touched a weight since. Serious, man.
I mean, you look pretty you look pretty good for a guy who hasn't touched a weight in 9 months, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I haven't.
How are you holding the size?
Well, just started eating good, I guess. I don't know, Ron. I mean, it's just, and I haven't been training. I'll tell you one of the reasons why is because remember when I came off the Arnold show, I was going to do the bench press contest, remember?
Yeah, everyone.
And yeah, what happened was I ended up tearing my tricep getting out of bed one morning. I slightly tore my tricep. I thought it was a tricep tendon.
Yeah.
But it just so happened it was a tricep. And so I just didn't go to the gym, took off all the way until now, and just to let it really, really heal up. So yeah.
So no surgery?
Unfortunately.
No surgery at all?
No surgery or nothing. But you can just see a slight little indentation in it though. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still upset that you won't train just because you can't do your 500-pound benches all day.
Well, for me, man, it's all or nothing. I've trained myself from competing so many times, and you know me, I would always jump in the gym like 4 months, 5 months out from a show and go 100%.
Yeah.
For me, if I can't go in the gym and go 100% focus and the way that I want, it's like all or nothing. So I decided, well, why do anything else? I know it don't make sense to some people, but for me, when I go in the gym, it's like that's my world, that's my territory, and I just want to do everything 100%. And if I go in 50%, then I just can't go in like that. So I wanted to wait until I heal up, and I'm going to be getting back into it.
Okay.
I'm going to start actually on tour here. So hopefully when I get to FIBO, I don't know if you're going to show up in FIBO.
Don't I wish?
I'll be looking a little more like Levrone. So
because every time you go to these different countries, I'm sure you have at least a few people there. Maybe they work for your company, maybe they're just big fans, but they say they probably want to work out with you, or at least see you work out.
Yeah, I mean it's great, man, because I'm out here on the road. I'm pushing the brand, pushing health and fitness, and just nutrition and how to train. And yeah, we have the expos. I have Levrone Signature Series China on the ground here. We're here because I'm on tour. I'll be here for about a week and a half, visiting stores, talking about the new scope of the company, the new products we have coming out. And I just like it out here, man. I mean, it just gets me fired up. And it makes me want to go to the gym and train. And I'll pick a few of the guys, a few of the fans that I run into, and I'll probably spend some time with them in the gym out here on the road.
Random ass question, but what's the Chinese food like in China compared to the Chinese food in the USA?
I think over here there's more of a variety of food to choose from. One thing that I noticed, the chicken over here, it tastes a little more gamey. It's a little more gamey, a little more wilder tasting than our chicken back home. So it has that strong gamey taste to it, almost like a wild meat taste. But they have China's really grown, man. I mean, they have everything. Technology is off the roof over here. People are very, 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 very welcoming and very, very nice. Just everybody's willing to help each other out, and of course, you see how their economy has grown. It's unbelievable. I have some of my clothing and stuff is made here in China. So these guys do a lot of manufacturing for me. So, but as far as the food and everything, I'm an Americanized, hotel over here, so I can eat, any that same stuff we have back home in America. But over here, I think the food out in the marketplaces and all that's just a more of a variety of on the menu of Chinese choices to choose from.
Okay. Now,
But I keep it simple, For me, it's fish, chicken. I'm not a red meat guy, so I don't go close to any of that. I don't know if they have that over here. I think they do have beef. They got beef and pork dishes and stuff like that. For me, I just keep it simple, though.
were you never into red meat, or is this more of a recent?
Never,
Hmm.
never was into red meat. Even when I prepare for Mr. Olympias and everything, every now and so often I might do what is it, sirloin steak or something. But I'm more of a fish. Did most of my preparation on fish, and the reason why is number one, I think fish can just my skin gets really, really paper thin when I diet on fish. And it's a very, very clean source of protein too. So
I don't know if you know, Lee Haney was very, very against, still is very against red meat. Doesn't think people should eat
yeah,
it very often at all. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Let's
but
talk.
I know guys always say, "Wow, they love that meat. You need the red meat and all this stuff." But
Huh,
for me, I've been able to get past it, get around it.
you did okay.
So,
So yeah, you won two Arnold Classics.
yes, sir.
So I have to ask you, you were just at the show in Columbus. What were
hmm
your impressions? Did you watch any of the classic physique at all?
Um, First of all, my impressions. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
My, I mean, I just say yeah. I think the physiques, man. These classic physique guys is pretty mind blowing. Hold on, Ron. I just got a call that came in.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys got a lot of talent. I love seeing them up there because you get the tiny, small waist V taper and everything, old school. And some of these guys actually they can put on a pair of posing trunks and compete with us back in the day. With
I,
the lines and symmetry that they have. I love it.
did anybody in particular stand out to you?
Um, no, not one single person stood out in particular. With me, no. Just I was just amazed of everyone's physiques and that class choice of bodybuilders to come in and present themselves like that. It's really what the sport was founded on.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of people were so upset. A lot of people stopped following the sport for a long time because they thought the 80s and the 90s they represented, the best ideals, the shape, the small
Yeah,
waist, the condition, the posing presentation, and we lost that for a long time. And this is kind of
yeah,
bringing a lot of that feel back.
yeah. It really is, man. So those guys look phenomenal.
So
Yep.
let's talk about the Open. Did you caught some of the Open judging?
Yeah. I had to leave out of Columbus, but I saw some of that actually online. It's not the same as actually being there in person, but of course, Brandon Carey. I want to say congratulations to the great improvements that he has made. Because I talked to Brandon probably about 3.5 years ago when he was first thinking about going over and preparing for the shows and taking it to the next level. So, for him to be able to visualize what he wanted, to go out and make the sacrifices, being away from the family and put that time and work in. And that's what it is. Greater sacrifice, greater reward. So congratulations to him. I think he looks phenomenal. It's going to be a huge threat coming in through the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Bonac, all the guys that were up there. Josh, Cedric McMillan, all those guys are great champions, man.
What about
And the production. Everybody wants to talk about the bodybuilders, but what about the production of the show? I mean, the whole time, as I was watching, some of the show. Hold on, Ron.
yeah,
Got another call. I'm looking at the stage.
yeah.
I'm looking at the lights and the production. It's certainly grown as well as these athletes has grown also. So it was really a good show.
Just want to get your opinion on a couple of people. Luke Sando from UK jumped all the way up to third place. I
hmm
was very impressed with this guy. I was before, but he wasn't in the last. He did Arnold 2 years ago, and the condition was way
Right.
off. But this time he nailed it. And He's being talked about as someone that could do really well. What do you think of Luke's?
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, Ron, you hit it. As far as growing into who you are as a man, growing in with the experience of being on stage, being able to present that in a body that is actually in shape. And he did hit it, and he looked phenomenal. I think he's got a bright career ahead of him.
Ballsiest routine of the night, Cedric McMillan, blindfolded. Was that
Hmm.
insane? He put on a blindfold
Yeah,
and started posing.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
it's all about feeling yourself around and knowing where you're going. It's almost mind body becomes one. So I think I don't know where he got the idea from, but it was quite impressive.
I'm thinking it was that Netflix movie, The Birdcage, that came out a couple months ago that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
You didn't catch that crappy movie?
No, I didn't, man. I didn't.
It
I
was all right.
didn't.
It was not great. But
Yeah.
and the last guy I want to see if you have anything to say on is Rolly Winkler, because Rolly had guest posed in Nepal a couple weeks before that. It
Hmm.
looked like there was just no way he was going to be any kind of condition. A lot of people were thinking he was just going to drop out of the show and not show up at all. But you know, compared to the way he looked a couple weeks before that, I think he pulled a nice
I
job.
mean, I mean, I think, as far as my hat goes off to first for him just for finishing the show,
Mm,
getting into the show and finish it. And just that just shows you the test of the will of a true champion. These guys aren't built to quit and aren't built to back out. So he finished what he said he was going to go do. Of course, with along with him and myself and all of us who are fans of Rolly, we would love to see him 100% because we know how dangerous he is
mm,
when he is 100% on. I mean, it's almost impossible for him to lose a show
yeah.
because he has so much muscle mass. But he did his best, man. So my hat goes off to him.
I mean, he's a guy that gets better as the season goes on. I've seen this over and over
Yeah,
with him.
exactly.
So
And I think Rolly's realized that he's going for the shape. Instead of being the biggest guy on stage now, he's looking. Like Weinberger said, Rolly got so much muscle. You can afford to lose
yeah,
15, 20 pounds. To get shredded in the rip. So.
yeah. Because last year he did that. He went from fourth place at the Arnold, Ohio. He dropped 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and he won.
Hmm.
He won the Arnold Australia.
Yeah, it paid
So
off. It's
he might
phenomenal. Everybody was proud of him for doing it.
he might do it again. Who knows?
Yeah, he might. He might.
Okay, we have got a lot of questions. I don't expect you to get to all of them, but people have been asking questions, hoping you would do a show, and you've been all over the world, but I got you here now. So, question number one, Kevin, do you feel, a guy named Donnie, Kevin, do you feel like you've matured like a good whiskey as you got older? Do you feel more focused now, given that people always go on about your age?
Yeah, I mean, I feel more focused. I mean, what was his name?
Donnie.
Donnie. We all grow continually, each and every day, every second, every minute we're growing. So of course, everything that your questions, I'm going to say yes to. We always evolve, always constantly learning and evolving to be better in life. Whether it's a better role model, better husband, better person, whatever it is, better at business, and we are never too great to never learn. So every each and every day I wake up, man, I'm just thankful, and I give thanks to God for the opportunities in front of me. I look around, and I have probably thousands of people is going to be waiting on me in a few hours to go down
Mm,
and motivate them and just be here for them. So yeah, man, I think sitting back thinking, every moment, every second is always a growing experience for me to just be better, but not necessarily for me to just be better, just love people in the way unconditionally, man. So I enjoy it.
okay, this is kind of tied into the same thing. This is somebody you motivated a long time ago. Question for Kevin. Hello, Kevin. I came to bodybuilding because I once saw you in a Grand Prix in Russia,
Hmm.
and I knew at that moment that I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Thanks for the inspiration. The question I'd like to ask you is about that year, 1992, when you and Dorian were standing on the stage waiting for the announcement of the winner. Your first time on the Olympia stage, and you're in the finals with the throne at the hand's reach. What were you thinking at that moment? What did you feel? It would be terrific to hear you speak about that moment in details.
Well, I was thinking how fast things can turn around in your life unexpectedly. I came out of nowhere. My mother had just died probably about 3 years, 2.5 years before that, actually.
Mm.
I was working a construction job in my construction company. My whole life had just switched and flipped and just changed. And here I am on the Mr. Olympia stage, a dream coming true. And it really did. It actually felt like a dream that I was dreaming. To this day, I still sit back and I think about that first Mr. Olympia that I've ever competed in and getting second. I mean, it's just a very humbling, mind-blowing experience. So I say that to say this. Oh, and I always say, you never know. Never quit, never give up, and always believe in yourself because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, right?
Yeah.
And I never thought that it would happen that quick.
Yeah.
You know, my career would take off like that and get second, my first Mr. Olympia, and it did, and it just blew me away, man. It blew me away, and I never forgot about it, and I've always thought about those moments, and I do now when I see Dorian, when I go out on the road, when I see guys just thriving, you know, to win a show, because I was that kid one time with no direction, right?
Yeah.
Trying to win the Mr. Maryland show and didn't have a training partner and didn't have anybody to do my diet or write my workout routines down. And I had to just find my way. God, I mean, this is a miracle for me. I sit back and I think, you know what? Don't ever let anybody tell you ever that you can't do anything. No matter what you're going through, no matter how bad it is, never quit, never give up, because the bad times don't last forever, you know, and tie it all in. Every experience is a learning experience. So not necessarily is it a bad moment, you know, it's just one of those moments that's going to make you a better person and a better human. I just thank God that happened at the time that Joe Weider was living. The moments where we were having, you know, 6 or 7 shows. I think I went on tour after that around the world. And it's just one of those things that very humbling experience, but blows my mind to this day to step back and think, God, you know, I'm Kevin Levrone, the bodybuilder. He's supposedly a famous guy, you know, in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
But I just still feel, you know, Kevin, you know, the guy, the normal guy, you know, back home that was once a janitor in school. I was once mopping the floors at my middle school. That was one of my first jobs when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
You know, I remember that. You know, kids were going out and play football and stuff out there, but I was inside with the janitor, carrying a mop around the floor, and mopping the floors and dumping trash out of my high school, man.
You know,
Yeah.
while you were talking about that, I just realized those 3 years, 1991, 92, and 93, we had rookies taking second at the Olympia all those years. Dorian's first Olympia was 91. He took second. Your first Olympia was 92. You took second. And then Flex Wheeler the next year, 93, he took second at the first Olympia.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't happen anymore. And you think, you know, I was just talking to a friend of mine. You know, there was over 1,000 pro cards awarded last year.
Wow.
You know, I remember when we would compete, there was only 146 of us, pros, point blank period.
In the world.
You're talking about in the world over a period of 10, 15 years.
Right.
Sometimes from the time Arnold, you know, wasn't that many, but all the way up until like the early 90s, there was only 140 of us.
Yeah.
So there was an elite process that you had to go through, grueling process. When you won a nationals, that means that you were a top runner going into, you know, a pro show like the Night of Champions.
Right.
Normally, if you win a Night of Champions, then that means you're one of the top guys going into the Olympia. And, you know, the process of getting to that pro card, you know, it was very, very deep because it was a lot of talent. They just didn't hand cards out. You had to earn it, man. And the world knew your name when you turned pro. That was very, very something elite. It was very, very something special for our organization. And going through that process, like I said, not everybody could get a pro card because you had to be an overall winner. At the Nationals.
The Nationals was weight classes, so
yeah,
and there were no supers, so it was just the bantam, lightweight, middleweight, light heavy, and heavyweight. So you got 5 guys at the Nationals, and the USA overall winner 6,
well,
and North American overall winner 7 men turn pro in the United States every year. That was it.
Every year, that was it. That was it. You know, and you had maybe a few women here and there. But you think about that, there was less than 10 pro cards given out a year.
Yeah. Is that
You know,
nuts? Now that's
and
at these national
guess what?
shows, it's like 50,
Guess what?
yeah.
That's what carried the sport. You know,
If you turned pro in your era, you were freaking great. You had to be great
you
to turn pro.
you're in that 1%.
If you
You
turned
know,
pro back then, you were probably, especially if from like light heavy up, you were going to win shows. You were going to be top 5 in the Olympian honor,
yeah.
no question. And you guys all were.
Now you get an IFBB card, you're in the top 50%.
No, not even. I mean, there are people getting cards now. I don't want to diss anybody, but there are people getting cards now, like as masters and whatever, that there's no way they're ever going to place in a pro show ever.
Yeah.
Unless literally nobody shows up.
Yeah. Right. It's not that rare.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
I think you just answered this, but a guy named Tony
Mhm.
Ruggiero wanted to know, did you have a coach for the junior nationals and nationals that you won in 1991?
No. I didn't have a coach. I had training partner. Scott Raynor was my training partner.
Yeah.
One day we'll have him on the show. Just back then, man, you just needed. I worked out in a hardcore gym, bunch of strong guys. No different than where we're at now. Exile Fitness. It's like a powerlifting gym atmosphere.
Yeah.
So you need that. So I just had great workout partners, great surrounding. To visualize what you wanted to do, and there was nothing to hold you back. Everybody supported everybody in the gym, and it was just built on hardcore. So that's.
You know how to diet? Did you figure that out all on your own?
I didn't know. I didn't even know what it was. I think I would just eat mostly of what I wanted to eat, and I just trained so hard in the gym that I think it just burnt the fat off of me. I mean,
like what kind
literally,
what kind of stuff are you eating that you look back and like, I can't believe I ate that when I won. I was eating that getting ready for the nationals.
I would always. My whole thing was before I go to the gym, I would swing past 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I would get 2 hot dogs with cheese and the good cheese that comes out of those things you push and it comes down. It's got a lot of sodium in it, and then I would put they had chili that kind of like all over everything. I would eat 2 of those.
Yeah.
Go to the gym. Leaving from the gym, I would go past Burger King, and I would get a Whopper with cheese after my workout, and I would get a fish sandwich with cheese on it. I get a fry and a Coca-Cola. Then I would go home and probably eat a little bit of diet food here and there. Then I did this every day all the way up to the show. All the way up to I won a national.
You were in tremendous condition.
And I ate probably about 4 clean meals a day. Then that night, I'm not lying to you. I would eat 12 egg whites, and then I would eat I would have apple pie. I would go to the grocery store, bake apple pie.
Mm-hmm.
I would eat a slice of apple pie at night with vanilla ice cream on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people just got so depressed hearing all that.
So I had 4 meals of clean meals a day, and then I had that other stuff in there. So,
but you were, to be fair, you were training like 2 hours with,
I was training crazy. I mean, I was just sitting back
world-class powerlifter weights.
Looking at one of my videos, and I squat 780 for 6.
Yeah.
Guys made a mistake. They put 80 extra pounds on it. Prior to that, I did 700 for 10.
Yeah.
And it was like I was one of those moments I was going to the gym. I'm like, okay, well, let me try 700 again. But I got 6 reps.
Yeah.
I reckon, like, man, it feels heavy today. And Gunny was like, yeah, because it's 780 pounds.
See,
but 500 pounds with barefooted with no belt for 20 reps on squats. It's crazy stuff, man.
400.
Got that from Tom Platts.
405 behind the neck. Don't leave that up.
405 behind the neck for 6.
600-pound benches.
Yeah, I did that for a double, and that's when I ripped my chest.
Okay, well, that was too heavy.
No, what happened was I was too lean. I just got home from the Mr. Olympia.
Oh, that's right.
In 1992, and I was like a couple weeks. It was cold. I was just starting to gain my weight back. Let me see how strong I am. Went to the gym, and that's what happened.
Okay.
And guess what? after that, I tore my pectoralis major minor and built my whole career
That's right.
off of when
You
I tore
had
my
you
chest.
had won shows before that, but you won the majority of your shows after that. Like you
No,
won
I
your
won the Night of Champions before that,
in '92, yeah.
and I won.
You won a few shows that year.
No,
I think
no,
you
I
did.
didn't.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Because I remember like
So,
Porter, first show Porter beat you because you were watery from a flight.
and
Who
then
you
I came
trained,
home and I won the Night of Champions.
and that was it.
Then I went to the Olympia and got second.
Oh, that's all the show. And then you did some Grand
And
Prix.
then I ripped my chest. Yeah, then I did a few Grand Prix and ripped my chest.
You must have won a couple of those Grand Prix, didn't you?
Yeah, I won all those Grand Prix that year,
Oh,
4 of them.
so yeah, so that all happened before you tore your pec. Yeah.
Then I tore my chest, and then
Then you
I
won
had to start
15
all over.
15 or 16 more pro shows after you tore your pec. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes these people aren't accurate. Sometimes they are. So feel free to correct it if it's wrong. Craig Brand says, I know Kevin is doing deadlifts again, but is he also still doing rack pulls? I remember seeing a video of him a while back doing rack pulls for back
Yeah, Craig.
lifts.
Yeah, well, we try to include those in, just to get you warmed up before you get into the deadlifts. But rack pulls and stuff like that, it hits the center of your back. So yeah, I will definitely include them, man, if you're trying to build some back thickness.
But you
Yep.
always did. You always preferred full deadlifts from the floor?
Nah, anything with anything. I mean, I will try anything in the gym.
Okay. Because I mean,
I wasn't really a
Branch did
deadlifter, but I'll just try anything.
He had one more deadlift-based question. He says, Kevin, I've seen you do sumo deadlifts. Do you do conventional stance also? I believe conventional deadlifts work the legs and back a lot better than sumo. What do you think?
Yeah, sumo for me is I have a stronger pull in a sumo position. That's why I do it, because you get more of your hamstrings in there.
Okay.
So and yeah, so for me, I like the sumo style. I can pull a lot more than that. I think the conventional way of pulling, you are using a lot of back, and I don't want to hurt my back up at this point. But yeah, so
Okay.
I like sumo.
Yeah, just a good Branch told me he hates rack. Man, I'm not doing that half-ass shit. He believed rack pulls are for wussies, so he wouldn't do them.
Yeah,
That's Branch.
yeah.
Ross Angus, Kevin, what do you think is the best rep range for building muscle, and does it depend on the body part?
Building muscle, I think the best rep range is 4 to 6,
Wow,
heavy.
shocking. Not really.
As I was training as a power lifter, I would do 4 sets of 4, when I was trying to get strong. 4 sets of 4 with some heavy weight, and then I would kind of go up from there. Yeah, I wasn't really a 12, 13, 15 rep guy. I would go in the gym on a bench, do about 4 to 6 reps. As I would start off 225, 135 warm up, 225, 6, maybe 8, 315, 6 to 8, 405, 6, 455, 6, 500 for 4. That's my chest workout.
Wow. So you actually had a lot in common with Dorian. Dorian liked that sort of rep range too.
Yeah. Heavy, man, heavy until I got the cable stuff. And I didn't really do nothing on no cable until I was ready to, probably about 4 weeks out from a show. Then I would start doing cables, 12 to 15 reps on cables.
People talk about Ronnie training heavy, but Ronnie didn't train that heavy because he did like 12 reps on everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
I
you
mean,
train
I would do heavy
heavy,
pullovers. Yeah, heavy pullovers. My squats were 6 to 8. Sometimes, depending on what day I was on. Sometimes I do 4 sets of 20 with 315. But a lot of times it was heavy loading. If I had a show coming up, I would always switch it around.
Yeah, because some people would say you can't, you're not going to build the muscle quality, the detail, all that stuff. But you had crazy detail.
Yeah, I mean, I would go in the gym in the morning and do the work, do 16 sets on legs and come back in the evening and do the same thing. So I think it's about how much stress you're putting on that muscle.
Yeah.
And how much rest and recovery. But, I was taking in 4,800 calories of food, not protein drinks and all this stuff. I was eating food, okay? Good, clean sources of food. I was eating 7 times a day, 4,800 calories, high protein, medium carbs, low fat. And when I dieted for 12. I'm talking about, for the Mr. Olympia stuff.
Right.
10, 12 weeks straight. I really took it to heart. I didn't mess around like that. But yeah, man. So, and then I slept 10 hours a day. So it wasn't like I'm doing all this crazy training and I wasn't sleeping like a bear. So you have to make sure you get enough rest and sleep so your body can recover.
That was his second question. He said, you've talked about sleeping 12 hours a day when in prep. That's what you did in the most recent prep, if I recall.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't 12 hours straight. It was, 8 hours and 3 hour naps, during the day and stuff.
So his question is, a lot of people can only get 7, maybe 8 hours at the most. Do you think they're at a disadvantage to other bodybuilders who are able to get more sleep?
Yeah, of course. Of course, you're going to be at a disadvantage. If you're trying to compete at an elite level, like where I was, Brandon Curry didn't sleep 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. You could probably ask him, and I didn't even need to talk to him for him to put on that muscle size that he gained.
Well,
I'm sure that guy was napping like, every chance he could.
There's not a lot to do in Kuwait, so he probably got a lot of naps, something.
You have to. In order for your body to grow, you have to sleep. Yeah. So those cells can build and repair, man.
Okay, final question, because you haven't even had breakfast yet, right?
No.
It's like 6:30 something in the morning over there.
You're probably closer to 8. I don't know. Yeah, it's 8. It's 8:04.
Ridiculous.
Well, man, I apologize to Muscle Development staff, crew, Steve, and yourself for me taking so long. I apologize to the fans out there. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting so long, man, but I've just been busy.
The Shanghai interview makes up for it. So, final question. Just would like to know why, after age 50, everyone says people lose size in the lower body. Why do you think this could happen? Do you think it's an age thing, compounded injuries, or most guys don't push their legs that hard at that age?
I think it's a combination of everything. Mm-hmm. When that muscle goes away, it's not easy to get it back if you have injuries. I had injuries on my quadricep tendonitis, so I couldn't push the weight that I needed to push to stimulate those muscle cells that were already there that needed to be stimulated. So it was a catch-22, man. Right. When you're older and you back up off of it, it's hard to get it back if you do have injuries. Right. Now, you got guys out there like Dexter Jackson and a few guys that are, older and who haven't stopped and that are injury-free, But I think when you let your muscle atrophy and then you have injuries on top of that, it's just, you're fighting against, you're fighting against what? Upstream water, swimming upstream.
Someone like yourself, you built your legs on 600-700 pound squats on the daily.
Yeah.
So,
and don't get me wrong. I mean, I tried to go in the gym and I tried, but I was like, look, you know what, man? I'm not going to blow out my knees. My tendons were hurting or were aching. Yeah. I'm not going to do this until I injure myself. So I did my best with what I had to work with the platform and opportunity the guy gave me. I'm going to be honest with you, man. If I had won or placed dead last where I'm at, impact still would have been the same.
True.
Because it really wasn't about me. It was about just the fans, not quitting, finishing your dreams. And I'm happy. I'm happy, man. I feel like I've actually, Ron, you know what? I placed dead last in my first Mr. Olympia ever. And it was the most memorable show that I've ever done in my life. Probably the one that meant the most to me because I was able to get to a point to where my prior career was building everything up to this moment. And my fans wanted me to come back after 14 years. Right. The comeback was for them. The working out, actually, I needed it. I needed to get off my butt and do something like so many of you guys out there just lazy, don't want to do nothing because you have no motivation to do it. I needed a reason why to get out, and I'm glad I did because I'm healthy. I went to the doctors prior to that, had to get all the x-rays done, had to have my heart looked at and everything. So, guys, just don't quit and give up on your dreams. When you stop, you don't have to stop. You can still move forward, man, because all the time it's about finishing the race. That's what's the most important thing, and that's why I have a lot of respect for Rolly Winkler and anyone else out there who just finishes the race. I mean, you saw the kid, that the Special Olympic, the kid that
some different athletes.
Yeah, that Arnold saw the kid on YouTube, man. You want to talk about motivation and come on, it's not about winning. It's about whoever you are. It's about getting up and doing something which you believe in. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter your condition. Just matters how hard you try. You know, and that right there was one of the most memorable moments of ever Arnold Classic for me. Watching the competitor on stage is actually watching those young men. You know,
Yeah.
who don't see their difficulties. You know, who fit in with us and who have the adversities. You know, going against them, and we look at them and we think, wow, no, it's nothing. It's nothing wrong. What I see right there is a hero, a true champion. Test the will, man, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's what it's all about. That's where the power lies. You know, the power lies in the heart of a man. You know, that's what God sees. He doesn't judge the outside. He sees the heart, and that's what touches people, and that's what's important.
I can't close it on a better note than that. So thank you for your time, Kevin. Appreciate it. I want to wish you a very successful tour over there, all over the world as usual.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's great. It's great. You're not just promoting your supplement line. You're bringing fitness, bodybuilding, health, good eating habits. You know, you're spreading the word, the gospel of fitness to all these different places, all around places I don't even know where they are. You tell me where. I have no idea where that is on the map. I couldn't find it, but
Yeah, man.
you're doing a cool thing. So keep doing what
Thank
you're
you,
doing.
Ron.
So
Thanks, man.
everybody, thanks for watching How I See It with Kevin Levrone, brought to you by Levrone Supplements. He was kind enough to do this early in the morning from Shanghai, China. So thank you, sir. All right. Everybody, thanks for
Thank you.
watching. We'll see him when he gets back, hopefully.